You are 300 feet underwater. The pressure down here is 9 times what it is on the surface. If something goes wrong and things go wrong, the nearest human being is a 4-minute emergency ascent away. That 4 minutes? It's not a rescue window. It's just how long it takes to find out if you're going to survive. This person welds oil pipelines, repairs offshore rigs, and holds together the infrastructure that powers entire countries from the bottom of the ocean. Today, that person is you. Welcome to the most insane job nobody talks about. Here's something most people never think about. Every offshore oil platform, every underwater gas pipeline, every subsea cable that carries your internet across the ocean, it was built, welded, and is maintained by human beings. Underwater, by hand. You are a saturation diver, the most specialized, most dangerous, and not coincidentally the highest paid version of commercial diving that exists. Regular commercial divers go down, do a job, come back up. Straightforward, you don't do that. You live underwater. Saturation diving means your body becomes pressurized to match the depth you're working at, usually 200 to 1,000 feet down. Once you're saturated, going up and coming back down every day would kill you, so instead, you stay. You eat, sleep, exercise, and exist in a pressurized habitat the size of a large RV called a saturation system mounted on the dive support vessel above you. And every working shift, you get into a diving bell the size of a phone booth and descend to the job site. You will not see sunlight for up to 4 weeks. You will not breathe normal air. You will not hug anyone. And when you finally decompress and come back to the surface, the process takes 5 more days. For this, the industry pays very, very well. It's 6 a.m. on a Tuesday, somewhere in the North Sea. Wind is 35 knots. The ship is moving beneath your feet like it's trying to shake you off. You hand your phone to the dive supervisor. You won't need it. There's no signal at the bottom of the ocean. You enter the saturation system through a small round hatch. The hatch seals behind you with a sound like a vault closing, because that is essentially what it is. Your dive partner nods at you. You nod back. This is the full extent of your welcome ceremony. Over the next 24 hours, the system slowly pressurizes. The air changes, you're now breathing heliox, a mixture of helium and oxygen that allows you to survive at depth without nitrogen narcosis, which is basically the ocean's version of getting drunk when you don't want to be drunk. You will brief your dive supervisor about critical infrastructure repair in the voice of a cartoon chipmunk. You will do this professionally, because you are a professional. The diving bell is your elevator. It connects the saturation system on the ship to the job site on the ocean floor. You and your dive partner climb in. The bell is approximately the size of a garden shed if that garden shed was made of steel, pressurized to 9 atmospheres, and hanging from a cable over the North Sea. The bell descends. Above you, daylight disappears within seconds. The water changes from green to gray to black. The only sound is your own breathing and the low hydraulic hum of the cable system. At 100 feet, pressure building. Ears equalizing. At 200 feet, temperature drops to near freezing. At 300 feet, the bottom appears in your torch beam. Flat, silent, alien. Your job today, a crack has been detected in a pipeline joint. It's 18 inches long. It is leaking. It cannot be allowed to leak further. You're going to weld it shut in complete darkness, in near freezing water, in a current that hasn't read the memo about how much you'd prefer it to stop moving. You stop at the crack. Shine your torch on it. It's bigger than the report said. It's always bigger than the report says. Let's talk about what you're actually about to do, because underwater welding is not just regular welding with a snorkel. There are 2 main types: wet welding, where you weld directly in the water, and dry welding, where a habitat is placed around the work area and water is pushed out, creating a dry space at depth. Wet welding is faster and cheaper. It's also significantly more dangerous. The combination of electricity and salt water requires extreme precision, specialized electrodes, and a level of focus that most people cannot physically maintain. Dry welding, technically called hyperbaric welding, produces a stronger, more reliable weld. It's used for critical infrastructure like the pipeline you're staring at right now. The habitat seals, water clears, and for a moment, just a moment, you're in a dry space the size of a large microwave oven, kneeling on the ocean floor, 300 feet underwater, about to strike an arc. The weld itself takes 47 minutes. In those 47 minutes, you think about exactly 3 things: your technique, your gas supply readout, and whether the current is shifting. That's it. Everything else, the pressure, the cold, the darkness, The fact that you're in a sealed habitat the size of a microwave on the ocean floor gets filed under deal with later. Your dive supervisor's voice comes through the comm system periodically, checking in, monitoring your breathing rate, which tells them more about your stress level than you might want them to know. At minute 43, you find something they didn't tell you about: a secondary stress fracture hairline running perpendicular to the main crack. If this goes unrepaired and the line pressurizes fully, you're looking at a full pipeline rupture. You radio up. The supervisor goes quiet for 11 seconds, which is a long time when you're 300 feet underwater, waiting for someone to tell you what to do. Then, repair it. Your scheduled dive window is 6 hours. You've used 2. The secondary repair adds 90 minutes. You get back to work. At hour 4, the current shifts. In the North Sea, this happens. The dive supervisor sees it on the surface weather system 2 minutes before you feel it. The warning comes through your comm. Diver, heads up, current rotating, watch your umbilical. You stop welding. Assess. The umbilical has 3 wraps around a cross brace. You need to free it before it gets worse, but you're mid-weld. If you leave the habitat now, water re-enters and you lose the dry environment. This is the decision point. This is what separates a good SAT diver from a great one. You make the call in about 6 seconds. You finish the weld pass. 4 minutes. Clean technique, no rushing, no cutting corners, because a bad weld down here costs more than time. Then, you exit the habitat, clear the umbilical in under 2 minutes, and re-establish the dry environment. This is the part of the job nobody talks about. Not just the welding, the decision-making. Under pressure, literal and psychological, when the environment is actively working against you, and the right call has to come from inside you, because nobody topside can make it for you. You complete the repair at hour 5, 43 minutes. The pipeline is sealed. The secondary fracture is closed. You pack your equipment, exit the worksite, and begin the walk back to the bell. Let's talk about why people do this, because it isn't just passion for pipelines. Entry-level commercial divers, the non-saturation kind, start at around $40,000 to $60,000 a year. Solid money for a skilled trade. The moment you qualify as a saturation diver, the floor moves. SAT divers typically earn a base salary plus a daily saturation rate paid for every day you're locked in the system. That rate runs anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 per day, depending on your experience, your employer, and the location. Run the numbers. 28 days in saturation at $1,500 per day. That's $42,000 for one rotation. Most SAT divers do 6 to 8 rotations a year, with equal time off between each one. That puts total annual compensation between $120,000 and $300,000. The top-end experienced divers on deep North Sea contracts or Gulf of Mexico projects regularly clear $300,000 to $400,000. And here's the part that genuinely shocks people. The off time is equal to your work time. For every day in saturation, you get a day off on the surface. Work 28 days, get 28 days off. Some companies run 21 and 21. That means a SAT diver earning $250,000 a year is doing it in roughly 180 actual working days. The rest of the year is theirs. The people who figure out the financial side of this early and invest that income intelligently can retire in their 40s. Some do. The money is real, the time off is real, but so is the cost. The physical toll is cumulative. Long-term SAT divers report joint problems, hearing loss from years of pressure differentials, and sleep issues that follow them to the surface. The people who last in this career aren't the bravest. They're the most psychologically durable. There's a difference. Bravery is a moment. Durability is a career. Day 28. The hatch opens. You stand on the deck of the ship and breathe air that isn't heliox for the first time in 4 weeks. Your voice is back to normal. The sun is out barely. It's the North Sea, but it's there. 28 days off starts now. You've already earned more this month than most people make in a year. It can wait. Like and subscribe. What dangerous job should we cover next? Drop it below.